assistant state's attorney, just because you have a weapon doesn't mean you're a violent person. So we're getting repeat offenders that we'll lock them with a pistol. Before we're even done with the paperwork, he's walking out the damn door, goes in front of a judge gives him an I-bond.
Okay, don't panic. Those are not bullet holes behind me. I'm just soundproofing the wall back there. But if you are going to panic, you want to panic about what I'm going to bring up in this video. Because I see a pattern emerging and it's disturbing. And I think it's going to be laid on us sooner than later. And I don't know if any of us are prepared for this. A lot of it has to do with the cops. That's why I was talking to cops in this video here. And it has to do with something a friend of mine said that came by that I reiterate in the video here about the elimination of cash. And some of it has to do with this book right here, which I highly recommend you get a copy of. AI Trump China, the weaponization of robotics with 5G, how China, Western AI and robotics corporations pose the greatest threat to the people through biodigital social programming via the Human Biodigital Network by Cyrus A. Parsa. I highly recommend this book. I've only gotten about a third of the way through it, but the things that they do bring up in here will scare the living bejesus out of you. So it has a lot to do with the weaponization that's coming down and what they plan on using it for. Also, a lot of it has to do with the robo-cops, which, getting back to the cops, I see a pattern talking to the police where they're making it harder for them to do the job. Morale is way down. Police are not, or the academies are not, they're not being able to recruit. So I think they're systematically getting rid of the police, and then we'll use that as an excuse to bring in these robo-cops. And when the next economic crash happens, coupled with the 5G and everything going electronic, this is all going to be working in conjunction. So I think it's pretty scary what we're running into here, sleepwalking right into. And you let me know. I just see this pattern. It's been puzzling me. This book does start and bring it into focus, plus the things I'm hearing on the street from the police. Anyway, we got to fight, and I don't know how we're going to win this one. So I just find myself praying a lot more lately, because what we're looking at here with the weaponization of these AI robotics, our guns will be useless. Which reminds me of something a soldier told me. He's a corporal a long time ago. I'm going back 15 years. And I happen to mention that there are too many guns for the the powers that be to really be able to enforce their agenda. And he said to me very pointedly, "Your guns will be useless. The things we're working on will make your guns useless." So when I asked him, "What are you working on?" he says, "I'll come back and talk to you later about it." Of course, he never did. That always hung with me. So I don't know, this might be part of it. Take a look at it, listen, see if you see what I'm seeing. And, if you like it, you like it. If you care, you share. All that good stuff. But I see a dark moon rising. A chill wind. All right. God bless you. I'll see you on that flip end.
It's not that liberal, but Birmingham is, and it's only an hour away. So we get a lot of them down there. But, we had the big game yesterday, and they had their little protesters up there and everything.
Yeah,
They had that big balloon of baby Trump, and somebody slashed it.
Yeah, they arrested that guy.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't care. Antifa can go ahead and attack someone at those rallies and whatnot. They don't get arrested. Someone slashes the Trump balloon, and
The Republican Party actually, they gave more than $16,000 to get him out.
The law, also the laws.
Yeah.
The laws are different in every state.
Yeah.
But say, for instance, those people would have been out there, or like, say I'm an Antifa person and I come up and I punch you in the face.
Yeah.
If a cop didn't witness it, you can't arrest him on the side. You can press charges on him.
But if a lot of these things are videoed.
It doesn't matter. The way the law works in Alabama, now I don't know about the laws in any other state like Louisiana, but the way the law works in Alabama is no matter if there's video or anything like that, if I'm a cop, unless I witness...
That doesn't make too much sense to me.
It's just the way the law is.
Well, then screw the law. I mean, that's assault, isn't it?
Well...
I mean, if I assaulted you right now...
Well, it depends on what you mean by assault. Like, if you punch me in the face and I'm bleeding or whatever, in Alabama, it's assault 3, which is a misdemeanor. Any misdemeanor, doesn't matter what it is or what the nature is, I can't arrest somebody on a misdemeanor unless I witnessed it happen. It's the same thing with, like, a ticket. I can't give you a speeding ticket if I didn't witness you speeding. You know what I mean? Now, if it's a felony and, like, I stab you... Yeah, you're getting arrested.
It seems to me, because, I guess it is, man, either the laws, I don't know why, I guess the laws are changing to be more lax or whatever, because, there was a time any physical contact would be assault.
Well, the way the law is in Alabama, like if I pushed you right now, that would just be harassment. If I punched you or if I did something to you that caused an injury, like a bloody nose or a black eye, then that would be assault in the 3rd degree.
But would that be an arrestable offense, or would you get just a...
Not unless I witnessed it. The only time I could arrest when I did not witness it happen is if it was a felony. And since an assault 3 is a misdemeanor, the only thing you could do is press charges on him and sign a warrant on him to be arrested at a later date. Now, 99% of the time, you have a witness around, yeah, he's going to have a warrant on him. He's going to go to jail, but he won't go to jail right then. But I just wanted to, explain that to you, so maybe you can explain it to somebody else when
absolutely.
They don't understand it, because cops are not.
Well, it's not even on social internet right now, because people are being attacked. As a matter of fact, there was Caitlin Bennett. If you're not familiar with her, she's InfoWars and she goes to the protest, and she was attacked, and there were plenty of people around that witnessed that, the Antifa attacking her and her boyfriend, because they were filming and doing the interviews, and this one Antifa guy attacked, "You can't film me," and smashed the camera, and then pushed her, and then she was trying to she was fighting back, and then some big guy, black guy, came along and started hitting on her, and there were cops around, came on, witnessed all this. And then when, I said, we'd like to press charges, the cop said what you just said. Well, we didn't see it. But wait a second, you're right here. We get the video to show you were right there.
Yeah. they may have been. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. But they may have been referring to they didn't know who started it.
It was all, but they were right there. I mean, it was on video showing them right there. Now, of course,
I'm just saying from, what would happen in Tuscaloosa where I'm a police officer, how it would go down. If I saw two people fighting, normally it would be like it didn't matter who started, you're both going for disorderly conduct. You can press charges for assault, harassment, whatever you want, at a later date. But, a lot of time when they don't arrest people like that, a lot of times it's because they can't. It's not because they don't want to, or they're, a Republican.
Well, what floats in my mind is old Dylan song, the police don't want and need you, and baby, they expect the same. And I understand that, look, a lot of times, you want to keep the peace, and a lot of times it's just bullshit. You don't want to go to the petty stuff, because that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And with the amount of major crimes that are going on right now, you can't even get to them. So, dealing with all the petty crap and the fact that, a lot of there's not a lot of police, people are not going into the police work anymore because you guys are getting trashed all the time. I mean, there's a war on police.
That's right.
So, I've talked to a police academy, a recruiter at it, a guy who does, works at a police, and he says, young people are not going into the academy because why go into a job you're not getting any respect anymore?
Yep. There's a shortage of police officers around the country right now. Yeah. Police department. Doesn't matter how much they pay or what they do. So you got to figure out something to do.
So what's going to happen? I mean, we're going to have robo-cops?
Might do it.
That's scary.
Yeah. Well.
All right, here's a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton. There's a big riot against police telling,
I know, isn't it disgusting?
What the hell is,
I don't know if I could just sit there and take people spitting at me without responding.
Yeah, I know.
It's disgusting.
You probably, we both probably get the same amount of disrespect here lately, But yeah, you guys get it constantly, and I just don't understand. Oh, God. It's got to be that whole Smollett thing.
Oh.
And how your mayor's treating you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what's that doing to the morale up there?
Oh, we all hate her. We all hate her. Every time she gets a platform to talk, she starts talking about how, sanctuary city, and we're not going to abide by that. And it's like, great, it's like we all stood there and swore an oath to the Constitution of the state of Illinois, Constitution of the United States. Now you're telling us not to abide by it. You can't pick what law you want to.
You can't pick and choose.
Unbelievable.
I'm all for immigration. That's great as long as it's legal.
Yeah.
Especially when they want to, they just had this big teacher strike and they're pissing and moaning. Well, the class sizes are too big.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough room for this, and we need more of this. It's like, well, that's what happens when you're a sanctuary city. You open it up and give it away for free. Right. It gets overcrowded.
Yeah. But, the whole plan, I don't know if you're familiar with Cloward and Piven. All right. In '64, they asked some political scientists, if you were going to bring down the United States, how would you do it? And said, well, you can't do it militarily. It's too strong. Mm-hmm. So the idea is you create a lot of little brush fire wars everywhere. And you crash their economies and you make it all horrible. Create a lot of refugees. And you play in the guilt of the host country that started those wars or facilitated them. You open up the borders to the refugees. You overwhelm the welfare system, and you bring down those countries, the United States, from the inside. Mm-hmm. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
So these communist politicians that we have now that are getting in, they're getting Chicago, and they're getting in New York and California. It's exactly what they're doing. It's called Cloward and Piven. Problem, reaction, solution. Create the problem, wait for the reaction, you come in with the solution.
You need your sign that Epstein didn't kill himself.
The only one I know that does it, that thinks he committed suicide is Barr.
Oh my God. So freaking crazy. Our son went to school down here, to Loyola. He went to the Young Republicans Committee. There were 4 of them there. He had a Trump hat. He came back, he goes, Ma, he goes, no one will even talk to me when I wear the hat. I'm like,
That's that liberal tolerance.
He goes, this is so liberal down here, and so it's unbelievable. But he did graduate, and he's back home in Chicago, so that's where we're at.
Well, you raised him well. I mean,
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to take bail on anyone unless it's a violent felony offense. So that means simple assaults, whatever. It's just turn them loose because the people, can't afford bail.
Yeah, but the crime statistics will go down, but the crime will go up.
The other issues, the other things taking effect. Brady Material, which is anything of evidence that the government has, the district attorney has to be turned over to the defense. So if you have, something, basically the government's case has to be presented to the defense so they can defend themselves. If they pass the law, it's got to be done within 15 days now. That short time frame is going to prohibit us from doing it, and things are just going to be dismissed. In other words, and that even counts for traffic tickets because we have in-car video. So within 15 days, we have to provide them with the in-car video, with the audio for any radio transmissions on every traffic ticket. And the sheer volume will prevent us from doing it. And the district attorney's office is talking about if anybody pleads not guilty, just dismissing the ticket. Which means anybody gets a speeding ticket.
So when are you going to retire and move?
Soon. So that's what's going on in New York.
Yeah, I figured you got to be close to it, huh? I mean, and
my pension, 2 more years max is my pension.
Oh, I hope you make it, brother.
Kids in college, so.
Oh, Jesus. How they doing? I hope they are
doing real well. So
they're not. They didn't turn liberalized.
No, and it's it's funny. I had to have a little talk with them about going to college, and sometimes your opinions can't be sung on a street corner because people don't understand.
Are you in the force too, or?
No. I'm an assistant principal in a high school.
Oh, Jesus! Another one.
The most liberal bastard.
My God.
I don't know how he even works there.
When Trump won the election, they put up a tree in the courtyard, and they called it a feelings tree. And people were like writing on cards, and putting up.
I hope you left the card.
Yeah, my card was "Go Trump."
Oh, okay.
But I have to keep quiet.
That wasn't frowned upon?
Huh?
That wasn't frowned upon?
Nobody knew I put it up there. There's a core people like me in school.
Okay.
It's not everybody. And it's funny how it's
a little underground society.
Like an underground.
It's like the Fight Club. I swear. I speak to other teachers and they tell me there's a group of us. We got to keep it down. It's like a Fight Club.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you can't talk about it because it's.
And how did we get there as a country?
That we couldn't have a dialogue. Now, my brother-in-law is very liberal, and him and I, not this one, my sister's husband, we get along great, and we can talk politics without getting crazy about it. But my sister, she just doesn't.
Yeah.
She becomes unhinged.
Yeah.
She's one of those pink pussy hat wearing crazies.
I know them well.
Yeah.
So, Mike, the oldest one goes to Georgia Tech, which is, as far as colleges go, somewhat conservative. You can actually carry a gun. You're licensed gun.
Very good.
My other one goes to Marquette, which is a Jesuit university, and you kind of have to be careful there. I mean, they have some religious.
Jesuits kind of funny, yeah.
But they're very. What's the word? Very encompassing. They very want to, they welcome all these pink-haired fucking creeps that run around. The ones that were going mad in the streets in fucking Manhattan when Trump won. You know the type I'm talking about.
But they were just out recently. What was it? Cortez and all. They were just big demonstration and bashing the police.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. That's why I took a picture of that. That's started with Obama. Drive a wedge between the cops and social unrest, class fucking warfare, all that. The cops are no fucking good.
Yeah.
And
they were just last week, just a few days ago. Thousands of them in the New York streets bashing the police. Like, okay, yeah, how are you? Well, in one instance, I look at this. All right, arm everybody and get rid of the police. I'm happy with that. It's cool, we can live. But most of those idiots, how are they going to live without the police? I mean, because the first time something happens, they're the first ones to call.
They'll get the shit kicked out of them. If there was no law and order, they would be the first ones. So I can do 2 years standing on my head, I think, and I'll take my tax-free pension and fuck
But
it.
all right, they just arrested the guy who slashed the balloon Trump in Alabama.
Yeah,
right?
I read that this morning.
Yeah, they arrested him. But Antifa can beat up a woman and they won't arrest them.
Yeah. A guy.
What happens with that? Are they giving the cops orders not to?
Not us. I mean, but you mentioned Antifa. My son went to Georgia Tech his first year there. He was there a month. They had a suicide by cop student. You know, he was the head of the transgender organization. Or whatever.
Wonderful.
Called the police on himself. Guy down by the parking garage with a gun. You know, blah blah blah. He's drunk. Cops showed up. The guy ends up running at him. He had like one of these multi-tools. He's whipping it around like a dragon.
Didn't that make national
news?
news?
They shot him. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I got to know the chief of police down there, and Antifa came in. He goes, yeah, we had fucking riots. They burned the fucking police car. He goes, it's Antifa. He goes, we locked one guy up. They locked him up in Florida when that, it's a fucking guy down in Florida. He shot his...
Trayvon Martin?
Yeah, that Trayvon fucking case. He goes, they locked him up. The fucking protesting in Florida. He's a professional protester here on campus. He goes, the kids, the people that are here demonstrating are not the college kids. They bust these fuckers in.
I talked to a guy the other day from Oregon, from Seattle. Oh, it was Portland, one of those little cesspools. And he says, when I was there were ads in the paper. You know, hold a bash Trump sign, $20, right? Or Soros is paying $10,000 a year if you want to become a professional protester. You could, and they fund you, travel around, you can go to, you know. So, you know. Yeah.
Well, listen, good luck to us next year.
Oh, came into that, brother.
Yep.
God bless.
Keep up your good work.
Because we had brought up Antifa and the riots and all this stuff, and he says, now in his area, unless a policeman witnesses an assault, you can't arrest.
Some of these places like Cleveland's under such a strict consent decree, they have to get on the radio, get their sergeant's permission to put somebody in handcuffs and place them into custody, even on a sight complaint.
It's disgusting.
Isn't this encouraging lawlessness?
Oh yeah. Well, by us, you know, the wonderful state's attorney and county president we have, and the chief judge of the county have this bail reform, because the jail was getting too full of black and brown. So what they did is they knocked down bail on everything, so everything gets an I-bond, including a weapon, including a UUW, unlawful use of a weapon, because according to our assistant state's attorney, just because you have a weapon doesn't mean you're a violent person. So we're getting repeat offenders that we'll lock them with a pistol. Before we're even done with the paperwork, he's walking out the damn door, goes in front of a judge gives him an I-bond. Either that or put him on electronic monitoring. And the county sheriff finally came up about a month ago and said, this whole thing of electronic monitoring, we're not watching these people. We don't have the means to. We get people doing armed robberies, shootings. They've been locked up, twice for murder, twice for armed robbery. Just got locked up for a gun, out again with another gun. It's ridiculous.
Two things I see here. One, it's a plan to create chaos to go ahead and reduce, the standard of living, to eliminate police because, the police are not going into the job anymore. I mean, why would you? Mm-hmm. You're not getting respected. It's getting harder to do the job, right? Coupled with, so being that you're not going to have any police, we get this. Mm-hmm. AI, robotic technology, robocops.
Mm-hmm. Somebody had a thing on there that it didn't work too well because somebody was assaulting the thing right in front of him and he walked right past him.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if that was put on too to throw us off because what I'm reading on in here is beyond scary about what they can do now with the incoming 5G technology. Because, the stuff they put out to us is just kiddie stuff, the kid toy stuff.
Yeah.
But even these toys that they have facial recognition.
Oh, yeah.
But what I'm reading about here, these things will have biometric data systems in them that we'll be able, through just our skeletal movements, our brain flow to our brain, the blood flow to our brains, we'll be able to know what we're going to do before we do it. And then, of course, the robot's going to have heat recognition, facial recognition. You've got the drones that are going to have facial recognition and assassination attempts. I mean, how do you fight against something like an army of those?
Yeah, those glasses freak me out that Apple makes.
I know, so it's a night you vacuum.
They freak me out.
I know, they should.
I'm a tech card. That's what my kids call me.
Okay.
Because I just recently learned how to text. So my kids make fun of me all the time. They go, you got a smartphone, but you're like, Ma.
Hey, it took me 2 weeks to try to find out how to answer my phone. That's how bad I am. I had to go back to I'm missing phone calls. How the hell are you? So, yeah, but, you know, I had a guy come by today, and this is what he told me. This is another thing that's happening. He said it's driving us right into this. So he's a tech card who he was forced, like, to get a computer and forced to get on his cell phone, right? There you go. Went to buy a Greyhound bus ticket on the phone. He doesn't have a credit. He doesn't use credit cards. So they said $115. He says, but I don't have a credit card. He said, so you have to go to the station and buy it. Goes down to the station, $195. The guy, well, what's the extra money for? So you're getting penalized for using cash. So the next economic crash, cash becomes obsolete. Everything becomes digital. Now, between the 5G, now we're really locked in, because if they have complete control of what we spend and how we spend it and can track our entire movements and everything we do with the smartphone technology and everything, they want to just eliminate us. I'm sorry, you just can't use the credit card, can't use you become a non-person. I told you yesterday, I wish they'd give us all guns and let us sort it out. I mean, if the police can't enforce anymore because they're putting restraints on you, that forces it on us.
Let's say people always would come up to us when they were first talking about making Illinois. We were one of the last ones to be concealed carry. People come up, oh, you guys must be against it. I said, no. You're not. I said, no.
Yeah.
I said, maybe these assholes will think twice before they, try and rob somebody, knowing that they might get their head blown off.
Yeah.
And it's happened a couple of times. We'll walk up, what happened? The guy tried to carjack me, so I shot him. Good for you. And they look at me going, am I in trouble? You got your CCL and all of that? Yeah, I got it all. Fine. So I love when they get all these anti-gun folks and this and all these guns are deadly. You know what? I've owned a gun for over 30 years. It's never jumped off that table and shot me yet.
I know. It's a tool, and it's just like anything else. It's the person behind it that does the impact. So that's it.
The gun I carry is older than I am. My dad bought it at a pawn shop in 1966. And he paid $60 for it back then. And I carry it every day.
There you go. There you go.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you were here today. It was a pleasure meeting you, sir.
It's a pleasure meeting you guys. And stay safe out there. God bless you.
So what did you think? I mean, cop bashing aside, they're just people too. They wind up believing the same lies we all get caught up believing, probably more so than anybody else is, The cops get compartmentalized, the good cops get separated from the bad ones. And so, but I do believe that for the most part, most of the police go in for the right reasons. Well, with a good heart and maybe the wrong reasons. Whatever it is, they're going to be replaced. And there will be no humanity left. And God is right. Okay. Pray for us. Dear God, pray. All right, I'll see you on the streets.